US military officials say Iran-backed Houthi rebels have launched attacks on ships in the southern Red Sea. According to a statement from CENTCOM, the targets were civilian-run vessels with ties to at least 14 different nations. The US says Houthi attacks on ships traveling through the Red Sea are posing a deadly threat to international commerce as a whole. CNN's Zachary Cohen has the details.
U.S. officials telling CNN that an American warship shot down 2 more drones on Sunday, both belonging to Iranian-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen. Now, the U.S. destroyer downed the first drone while operating in the southern Red Sea. At that same time, the ship saw a ballistic missile that was launched and landed in the vicinity of a commercial ship that was operating in the area. Now, as the U.S. warship responded to the commercial vessel's distress call, it shot down a second drone that was flying towards both of those ships. Now, this is just the latest in a series of incidents involving U.S. forces, not only in the Red Sea, but across the Middle East since the October 7th attack on Israel by Hamas. The Houthis have claimed responsibility for attacking Israeli commercial vessels in the Red Sea and said it launched ballistic missiles into Israel itself. The U.S. deployed 2 carrier strike groups to the region in an effort to deter Iran and its proxy groups from expanding the conflict, but those same ships have constantly come under attack from Iranian-backed groups like the Houthis. This raises the question about what more can the Biden administration do to protect American forces deployed to the region. Zachary Cohen, CNN, Washington.
US military officials say they will, quote, consider all appropriate responses to keep Iran-backed militants from threatening life and trade in the Red Sea. CNN military analyst Lieutenant General Mark Hertling explains what the US is doing in the region.
Those ships and both the Ford and the Eisenhower groups were put in specific locations as part of the preliminary operations to do exactly what they're doing, intercepting missiles from other countries. But it certainly puts the crews in danger, even though they have a great deal of air defense capability on each one of those ships, multiple capabilities on the Carnier, for example. So they can self-defend. But what they're also doing is protecting Israel and making sure this doesn't expand. But I think we're going to see additional strikes, probably on the Houthi rebel groups and other groups in the near future. And there will be strikes against proportional targets, as we always do, to send the message to try and get them to stop. But this is going to be very difficult because those Iranian-backed rebels will continue to try and harass shipping in the Gulf of Aden, in the Arabian Gulf, and in several other areas in that area.
CNN military analyst Lieutenant General Mark Hertling there.
Colonel, let's talk about the military, the U.S. military in the region, because yesterday a Navy destroyer shot down at least 3 drones that were headed for it. And they also responded to a distress call from a commercial ship. I mean, this is an incredibly important shipping lane for the world. What's going on here? How dangerous is what happened over the weekend in terms of potentially inflaming a wider conflict?
Yeah, this is certainly a warning sign, Casey. And part of the problem is that, as you mentioned, a lot of commercial shipping goes through this area. It's known as the Bab el-Mandeb Strait that connects the Red Sea to the Gulf of Aden. That area is full of all the traffic that comes out of the Suez Canal. So there is a lot of commercial traffic that goes between Asia and the Middle East and Europe coming through this area. And the fact that it is being put at risk by the Houthis, which is a group that controls a large portion of Yemen and is, oh, by the way, supported by Iran, that makes it very difficult for commercial ships to go through this area. The USS Connie, the destroyer that you mentioned, was actively engaged. They had a very busy day over the weekend where they were able to intercept several drones and destroy them. They also aided at least 3 commercial vessels in fending off attacks, and luckily no one was hurt in this situation. But the problem remains that these shipping lanes are now being put at risk, and it could very well impact the economies of the Middle East, Europe, and potentially even the U.S., because this is a global area of transport, and that will make a potential difference in the way we trade our goods from one area to the other.
Yeah, no, for sure. In a statement last night, U.S. The CENTCOM, the Central Command, said that they'll, quote, consider all appropriate responses, end quote, to the drone attacks that these ships are coming under. What does that mean?
Well, they are leaving their options open, Casey. What they're trying to do is they're trying to warn the Houthis that at this particular point in time, they are putting themselves at risk by sending these attacks against these these ships. So you have not only the drone attacks, but also missile attacks coming from Yemeni soil. And right now, this would basically put us back into about the 2016 timeframe, where the U.S. responded by taking out radars that were controlled, radar installations that were controlled by the Houthis back then because of similar type situations. But of course, this is a much more heightened period in time with the situation in Gaza unfolding the way it is. So the Houthis have been placed on notice, and it's very possible that we might see airstrikes against radar installations or missile installations in Yemen after these attacks.
All right, Colonel Cedric Leighton, thank you very much for being with us this morning, sir. I always appreciate your time.